Wow, we have breaking news. The Detroit Lions have officially extended quarterback Jared Goff, making him the highest paid player in Detroit Lions history. And I'll give you the tweet. This is per Adam Schefter. He just put it out. And our guy Booner was quick to it to share with all Lions fans. And I'll put it up on the screen here. It in totality, the contract, what it entails is a 4-year, $212 million deal, including $170 million guaranteed. Booner writes here, the Detroit Lions have their franchise quarterback, and Jared Goff is getting $53 million per year. Jared Goff at the end there. And this is not surprising. We expected a deal to get done. I think the number, the AAV number. Now we have to wait till the details come out. Let's make this very, very clear for people overreacting and saying, what's the money? What does the money look like? We have to see the details because Brad Holmes spoke about it and he said it himself. His priority is making sure, him and Dan, that there is a open window for a long period of time, and he's going to make sure they're able to do that. So this isn't the video to come on and be like, oh, $53 million, is it worth it? We have to wait for the details. But just to talk about extending Jared Goff, they had to do this. I mean, look at the success they've had, not only with Dan Campbell, with Brad building the roster, but also Brad acquiring Jared Goff and what he's meant to the city, the Jared Goff chance at home against the Rams in the playoffs. He means everything to the city, and he is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Definitely top 2, depending on where you rank him, in the NFC. So to have a quarterback like that, you have a chance every year to be competitive. He is consistent. He is reliable. He stays healthy. And he's the leader in that locker room. So getting this deal done was such a priority. You can't go into the season with this guy on the last year of his contract, not signed. What kind of message does that send to the locker room? I think now everyone understands, okay, he's going to be here for the long haul. And you have to keep in mind, he has 1 year left on his contract already next season, this upcoming season. So technically it's 5 years he will be in Detroit. Now, what does this mean for Hendon Hooker? Because you guys know I'm a fan of what they have in Hendon Hooker, and I think you'll certainly see that this preseason. That's not something you bank these negotiations on. All right, I've never once said don't sign Jared because Hendon Hooker's here. I've made comments, talking about how confident I am in Hendon Hooker and his ability, and I'm very intrigued. And I can't wait to see it. But you shouldn't let that control the conversations with Jared Goff. You're not putting all your chips into a basket of unknown, right? Like Jared, he's played at a top 6 to 10 quarterback level in the National Football League the last 2 years, Pro Bowl level. And you made an NFC Championship game and went down to the wire, almost made a Super Bowl. So this had to get done. I'm glad it's done. And they will still see what they have in Hendon. He will be the backup this year, which is fine. And you take it from there. Like worst case scenario, let me give you both, okay? Worst case, and I'll give you the best case. Worst case scenario, Jared Goff regresses. Again, this is worst case. There will be an out of that out of that contract. And if he does regress a little bit or he's not living up to Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, their standards, you're going to be able to trade Jared Goff. Let's not act like he's some bum either. I don't want to get that twisted. But let's give you the best case scenario. Hendon never sees the field because Jared continues to play at the level he's playing at. And you're making playoff runs. You're chasing Super Bowls. You might mess around and make one and win one with Jared Goff. And that's the best case scenario. And I think that's how Brad Holmes sees it. Like, hey, this is our quarterback. Yeah, Hendon, he could be very well be a good football player. But we can't, again, base that possibility and interrupt what we already have here. In a negotiation process with Jared Goff, keeping him around long term. I think this was a must do for Brad and the Detroit Lions, and I'm glad it's done. My biggest thing was I was curious what the holdup was. My theory on it was the length. Not sure if that's true. Maybe it was the guaranteed money. Quarterback contracts in general are just complex, and I'm curious, again, waiting for the contract details, whether it's front loaded, back loaded. How does Brad kind of, think about this team moving forward? Because he is a very smart GM, so he's very calculated. But this is amazing news. You have consistency, right? In Detroit. This has been a winning team, winning organization last couple of years. Season tickets are sold out once again. And you have core foundational pieces here long term. So that's really the biggest takeaway is, man, oh man, we get to go into the season, not only this season, but next season and the season after that. And Penei Sewell, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jared Goff, and soon others will be extended. And you have some of your best players on rookie contracts. This team is not going anywhere. I mean, the young guys are not going anywhere. Even the new draft picks, Terron Arnold, he's going to be here for a while. Same with the rest of the class. Same with last year's class. This is the window right here. A lot of players on rookie deals. Jared Goff signed long-term. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Penei Sewell locked up. They re-signed a couple very important players this offseason, brought in DJ Reader, Carlton Davis, Amik Robertson. This is it, ladies and gentlemen. This is a competitive roster that at least the team chemistry and the cohesiveness will continue, right? Like the team that got you to the NFC Championship game will be here long term. So again, this is great news. I'm happy it's done. I'm like I said, I want to know where you guys are at with it. I just want to see the contract details because that'll explain more. When we see these initial contract numbers, we got to relax a little bit, wait for the details to come out. Then you'll get more context on what it actually looks like. But hey, Jared got what he wanted, and I'm sure Brad had to sacrifice. I'm sure Jared Goff had to sacrifice, and both sides came to an agreement. But what do you guys think of the contract, of him being around long term, just the continuity this team will have moving forward for the next handful of years? It's such a breath of fresh air. Dan Campbell extended, by the way. It's awesome. And I think the only really person, not just player, that you're probably looking at going, yeah, his time is limited is Ben Johnson. And I hope he stays around because with him here and the rest of this roster intact, they're going to be a problem in the NFC, and not just the NFC, but the NFL. So this is great. Amazing news. But again, comment down below what you guys think of the contract. You know, what does this mean? And just your thoughts on what the deal looks like. Don't forget, check out our live show. We're live every day, every weekday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. We also post weekend content. So subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and you'll stay up to date with all their content. Until next time, I'll catch you guys.